This is an example of Education Perfect's newly refreshed Year 7 to 10 content that we're currently working on for all strands and topics across Years 7 to 10. Today we're going to take a look at both the structure of these lessons, what are some of the new features that we're looking to build into them, but also at the same time we're going to highlight some of the AI that we're currently working on for maths as well. So lots to get into here. One of the new features that we're going to make sure we put in every single lesson are the learning intentions and success criteria, along with the prior knowledge sections that will quiz the kids through a number of sections. So in this case, the two right angles, and they will be able to progress through this prior knowledge, proving that hopefully they either are ready for what's coming or it's going to give you an indication as a teacher that there are some gaps in their knowledge before you dive in. In addition to that, there's going to be a lot of great guided examples for you to go through with the class. So you'd be able to hit that full screen button and use this as an I do, we do, you do type activity for the kids and take it step by step so you really set them up for success. Likewise, if the students were doing this as part of homework or as what we would call a next steps activity after doing an assessment, if they got linked back to this lesson on Pythag because perhaps you had an assessment covering Pythag that they didn't do so well in, these would be the sort of things that hopefully are going to really walk them through step by step on how to do things. So the guided examples are going to be a really nice way to ensure that the kids are getting the right information at the start and then proving their understanding what's going on along the way. We've got easy, medium and hard questions, so it's going to go all the way through to like problem solving level questions that we'll jump into in a second, and then we're going to reflect on all of the learning intentions and success criteria at the end of the lesson and check that they actually understand them so they'll answer those questions themselves. In addition, we've got some great interactives along the way, so things like the video tutorials or Desmos activities. ThingLink, here's a Desmos activity, for example, where they would start to rearrange in order to prove that the area inside this larger square is the sum of the two other areas. So fun little activities along the way there that the students will hopefully interact with and keep them engaged as they go through, and once they get it, they'll be able to move on. One of the features that our AI is going to help with are on information slides. If the kids come across some terminology or phrases that perhaps are confusing them, in this case, the square of the hypotenuse might be something that confuses them, they're going to have the ability to ask more about that and get a further elaboration. If you multiply the hypotenuse by itself, that's the square of the hypotenuse. So, in this instance, hopefully giving them something that helps explain anything that caused confusion. In addition to that, one of the new AI features that we're going to introduce is the ability to get a hint. So in this instance, if I'm a student having trouble understanding how to do this or what's being explained to me, I can hit get a hint, and hint number 1 is going to give me just something to start thinking about. If I hit it again too soon, I'm going to have 10 seconds before I'm allowed my next hint, so hopefully it passes some information through the neurons, but then eventually they'll get hint number 2. But the same thing, we're building up their understanding of how to get started here without giving away hopefully too much and just spoon feeding them. And I really do like this last hint. Once you have both areas of the small squares, think about what you need to do with these numbers to find the total area. What operation would you use to combine the two parts? So you can see there, just drip feeding enough there to start processing what they need to do without giving it away. Okay, so for this example, I've intentionally made some mistakes along the way here. We've got Sophie, she has a lawn that she wants to build a pathway that's 10 meters across, but wants to know what the dimensions are to calculate the shorter side. We introduce our formula. I intentionally have incorrectly substituted 10 squared in B instead of C, but then, just as kids sometimes do, managed to then work it around back into the correct thing, possibly because when they were doing this, they would have got a negative and realized they're wrong. So they've just flipped this, got 64, and just to demo the handwriting very quickly, all of that was written using the handwriting information there. The square root of 64 would be 8 meters. Now, I've got it right, and because this is a prototype, when we release the Maths AI, we won't be showing any of this, and they won't know they're right until they've hit submit. But this is what the AI is going to be doing. Likewise, it's early stages, we won't have any of this, so the prototype is working on top of what we currently have, so we'll remove things and clean it all up. But you can see here it's saying, hey, yep, you got the formula right, you haven't substituted correctly. C is always the hypotenuse, therefore it should have been this. Step 3, I've then got correct, and we got through to a carried error of a squared equals 64, and we have got the right thing in the end. So it's given us 3 out of 5 in this instance, which is good. So it's showing the kids, hey, you got the right answer in the end, but you did make a mistake here. So the AI is going to be very good at carrying errors as well as identifying mistakes and giving them immediate feedback as to what they need to do to improve that. I could go and improve my answer. Next, we have the ability to annotate responses for extended response questions like this one here. If I go and put a very basic answer in that we would expect students to do, we can see what the AI is going to do here. So it has the ability currently to annotate the response, explain why using what you know about triangles. You've correctly said that Mary is correct. You need to explain why she is correct and then state your assumptions as well. Are the speed limits the same on both roads? Is there more? So there's plenty here to improve upon, and I can come back now and edit my response. Okay, with my edited response, I can resubmit. So you've now seen our AI learning loop, and this is the prototype mode as I've said, but we do have this actually active and live in the platform for every other subject. You'll see a quick preview of that in 1 second, but you can see here for maths that it's a wonderful chance for the students with their extended response questions to receive some structured feedback, both on the right hand side in terms of things they've done well and things that they should consider improving, but then also with the annotations. The other thing that's not so obvious here is that you can create your own questions as well and then use these same features with your students. And as I've said, this is currently already in the platform, and this is a bit more of the polished what the
forms. We will see some inline feedback generated.
Brian out here, so you can see he's got an extended response here for a house example, and there's the more polished version on the right hand side. It's got a bit of the animations as well. But he's pointing out there the 3-star minimum. If we actually got less than the 3 stars, the got it button would be grayed out and we'd force the kids to take on the feedback and improve their responses. So as you can see, we ran a 10-week case study last year with some really impressive results here. If I just scroll down to the gist of the matter, basically before we had the AI learning loop in the platform, over 52% of students were trying to get away with the bare minimum. We've completely suppressed that now down to around the 10% mark when AI is turned on, and you can see here we're extracting even better results from the students than previously. So AI learning loop is having some great impact amongst all the subject areas. We're very excited to see that come into maths. I think for those extended response questions, it's going to be a great chance for kids to improve their mathematical reasoning and justification. The customization side of things means you can obviously use some assignment type questions where the kids have to provide strengths and weaknesses, strengths, limitations, etc., and have the AI give the kids all of that feedback before they actually go to do the assignment, so that you can train the kids to start backing up their conclusions with some mathematical reasoning. So that's the AI learning loop, but obviously having seen today the ability to have an AI reading aid, the hints, as well as the down the track, I believe in Q1 next year, we're going to release that working formula bar which can carry errors as well. So lots of exciting things coming for maths. Please get in touch if you've liked anything that you've seen today.